I spoke with Peter Lee about the year's COP15 meeting. I asked him to tell us more about the Nature Action 100 initiative and how it aims to preserve ecosystems.
We have a large number of corporations in the world who are commanding advanced technology and a large quantity of capital. Now, quite a few of these companies are investing in space exploration and other adventures. Why can't these corporations use the resources, use the capital for nature conservation? And I think that's a great idea, and I have never seen such idea in the past conferences, especially regarding biodiversity conservation.
How do you quantify the impact that companies have on nature, and ways, what are ways that the private sector can be held to account?
Private sector has a social responsibility and a global ecological responsibility to take care of the natural environment. Now, one of the things at the conference that companies must disclose their activities, and they should shy away or stay away from activities that would worsen the biological loss. So it's really not just that the companies have a financial contribution to their cause, but they also have their own behavior to take a look at.
And negotiations on a deal to protect 30% of the Earth by 2030 are underway. Indigenous participation is seen as key to reaching that goal, yet rights groups say that talks aren't addressing the concerns of native people whose land holds the majority of the world's remaining biodiversity. Should a summit deal give more authority to Indigenous people?
Yeah, I'm happy to see that equity has been a major issue at this particular conference. As your reporter earlier mentioned, that the local governments have a greater motivation to protect nature and ecological system. Indigenous people should not be marginalized in policy making, decision making, in related to about the diversity, because they are the groups living mostly still on the fringes of social and economic development, and they know the importance of interdependence between humans and the natural world.
Indigenous and community groups say they also need more direct access to financial banking to conserve land. How challenging is it to provide funding to these groups without their country's governments getting involved?
Absolutely. We know that the last 20 targets set in Japan, COP10, have been largely failed because of financial issue, and the financial problem could be contributed. Financing problem could have been contributed by many different factors. Mentality issue, the conflict between development and conservation, and of course the unwillingness of the industrialized countries to contribute more. So they have a legitimate reason to ask for money from different sources, of course, including government.
All right, Peter Lee, thank you very much for your time. Associate Professor of East Asian Politics at the University of Houston.
Thank you.
Still ahead on the World